Cougar fans, welcome back to part 2 of our interview here with Jake Retzlaff, our quarterback. My guy. It's my guy right here. So we kind of finished off, talking about, you went the JUCO route, ended up going from one to another.
Yeah.
And so now you're on your third team in 3 years.
Well, yeah, fourth team in 4 years, really.
Fourth team in 4 years, including the high school team.
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit about your journey ending up at BYU.
Yeah, so my first kind of experience with BYU was actually the summer going in to my season last year at Riverside. I actually came up on an unofficial visit and got to see the campus and everything, and got to talk with the coaches, and I really loved it. As the minute I stepped on campus, it was breathtaking seeing in the summer those mountains right on top of you. It's pretty awesome, and the whole facility and everything. And you'll find this with a lot of JUCO guys, is they are usually more grateful for the facilities and the way we're spoiled here at BYU as football players, and that's how I felt walking in the building and just seeing the locker room and like, oh my gosh, this is incredible compared to what I was coming from. And so really BYU was just breathtaking for me, and watching games throughout the season, it was really fun to watch. It was really fun to watch that Baylor game especially. I can only imagine the atmosphere there.
Yeah, it was insane.
But yeah, it looked insane, and it's like I'm sitting there, watching the game like, man, I want to be a part of that. And so that's kind of how I felt throughout this past season. And while I got recruitment for other schools, BYU was always just, sitting there like, they stuck with me throughout the season, kept in contact and stuff like that. And it was like, no matter what, I'm looking forward to that text from Coach Mitchell or Coach A-Rod, knowing that's a place that I love. And so that's kind of where it was during the season. And after the season ended, it was like, they officially offered and everything. And that was exciting for me. And once all that paperwork cleared, it was like I knew that this was the spot. So.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how my recruitment here worked out.
Yeah, well, so that reminds me of I saw this quote from Cody, and it was like, just coming to a game, Cody Epps for those watching, it was like, coming to a game should be enough for someone to commit. Because like the environment here, like you can tell how much the school and how much the students are involved in our football program, as well as all the fans. I mean, no matter what game you go to, we have a packed stadium, like 65,000 people just screaming, loving us, watching the games every single week. I remember back in, I think it was 2021, we played Idaho State as our senior game, and like our entire student section just completely full. Like it's to a game that we were supposed to win no matter what.
Yeah.
And so regardless of the game, regardless of the situation, like we have fans showing up every single day. Because I remember back even when I was little, coming to these games, it'd be like pouring snow. I would just bundle up, sit next to my dad, and just watching these games. So it's definitely a special environment. But since being here, you've been here for about 3 months now.
Yeah.
2.5 ish. We'll just say 3. What is one of the things that have just kind of been solidified that you've loved about BYU?
Man, I think the support system, I did not expect us to have quite the support system that we have as student athletes and as football players, especially from our strength staff to our nutrition staff to, our coaches and everybody in between. It's just incredible to see the support that goes behind this football team. And I know that, from the football side to the weight room side to even the academic side, it's like there's always a place to go for anything you need. And most likely the answer is like, oh yeah, I can help you out and I can get that done for you. And so that's been incredible to me, just the resources that we have available to us. That and then just the level of football and the way we work, it's been fun.
Yeah. What's been kind of growing up in California.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd ever visit Utah before.
No, never.
And so coming to Utah, coming to BYU, especially like in Provo, it's kind of its own little bubble. Was it kind of a culture shock for you?
For sure. I mean, I think it was like that second weekend, because my parents were out here the first weekend, so I had something to do. And that second weekend I was out here, I'm sitting just in the house like, okay, guys, what do we do? Like, especially on Sunday, because everything shuts down on Sunday.
Yeah.
And back home, it's not that way at all. Southern California is live all the time, everywhere. So it was definitely like I definitely had to find my groove and figure out, Sundays what I'm going to kind of do, how I'm going to take care of myself. And for the first like few weeks we had football on Sundays, so I was glued watching football. But by the end of that, once that ended, it was like, man, what's going on? Is there something to do anywhere? So since then, I figured out like, oh, maybe I'll just go to the movies on Sunday. Watch Creed 3 this past weekend, and I still got to watch Avatar, so I'll probably do that next weekend.
Did you like Creed 3? So I saw it like this past week, or maybe
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was good too.
But I feel like there could have been more. Like I feel like it was pretty simple.
I feel like we kind of just follow the same format of all the other Creed movies, Like all the other just kind of. I don't know if they're doing a fourth one, but I liked it.
I thought it's good. The boxing is always really cool. The training and the boxing and the way they do those scenes is incredible. But when it comes to the plot, it was like it was good, but it's like a lot of the stuff was like, okay, that you could have easily.
Yeah, like I was gonna have it.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been a huge movie buff these last few weeks. We'll start like a movie club. Start like
maybe we
like
should
a book club. Like I've talked with like Braden Kime too, and like Talmadge Gunther. Like we'll start a movie club. Just watching movies like maybe like once a week, and then just
meet somewhere and watch a movie.
Even if we just like have a group chat and be like, all right, let's watch this movie. We just got together. We got to make that happen.
We got to.
All right. Back to our conversation. So BYU, obviously it's a LDS institution.
Yes.
So what is it like coming from someone who was raised Jewish and you're Jewish? So how is it like transferring like that?
It hasn't been as crazy as I think people would assume, because growing up where I grew up in Southern California, there's nobody, you grow up and you're the only Jewish kid in your school, and then you're the only Jewish kid in your high school, and then you're the only Jewish kid at wherever you go. And so for me, it's not insane for me. It's not crazy difference. But I tell you, I was at Sam's Club getting gas the other day, and I had my chain out like I usually do, and I'm just chilling, leaning on my car while the gas fills up, and the guy in front of me goes like, dude, I like your necklace, man. Are you Jewish? And I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, so am I, man. I was like, I just met the only other Jewish guy in Provo. Like, I was dead set, like, what the heck is going on? And so we just talked about, like, there's nobody else here that's Jewish. Like, that's incredible that I met somebody that's Jewish. And he says he usually wears his necklace, which I thought was cool. And he said that, there's a really tiny Jewish community, like in Park City. But other than that, you got to go to Salt Lake City to find, a synagogue to go to. And I was like, wow, that's incredible that I found somebody else in Provo. But other than that, but that's kind of been my whole life. Now, it's different here that if I want to go to the temple, then I probably have to drive to Salt Lake. What's cool is my rabbi back home got in contact with the rabbi in Salt Lake and put me in contact with him, and so I have a place to go, and so that's been cool. And yet I haven't been able to make a trip up there, but I definitely will in the coming weeks or a month or so, just because like I've been getting settled and everything. But it's kind of been my whole life like that. I've been the only one, so it's I've learned how to kind of beat to my own drum in that way. And especially at BYU it's definitely different because it's a religious institution, and so you're kind of in the middle of something going on that you're not really a part of, and when it comes to praying, a lot of prayers before class, prayers for meetings every day, and so stuff like that. It's just like it's a little different, but it's not something I haven't been able to handle before.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you being open with that. Let's get a wind down on our part 2. Appreciate your time. Glad we have a part 3 to look forward to. Crew Nation, be sure to stick around for that part 3 with Jake here. It's going to be talking a little more about spring ball and things around that. But thanks for watching part 2, and be sure to go back and watch part 1 if you haven't already. And again, we appreciate you, and thanks for watching. Thank you for watching this interview. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss the other 2 parts of this interview, plus all of our other interviews we do with BYU athletes. We also like to give a special thanks to our Cougar Board insiders for making this possible.